So I'm just going to read a section from Interviews with Francis Bacon, and David Sylvester is interviewing Francis, and I thought this was quite funny, what they're talking about. Okay. Francis Bacon says, "I feel at home here in this chaos because chaos suggests images to me, and in any case I just love living in chaos. If I did have to leave and I went into a new room, in a week's time the thing would be in chaos. I do like things to be clean. I don't want the plates and things to be filthy dirty, but I like a chaotic atmosphere." David Sylvester says, "It's probably easier to work in a place that's chaotic. If painting or writing is an attempt to bring order to the chaos of life, and the room you're working in is disordered, I think it may act unconsciously as a spur to create order, whereas if you try to do it in a very tidy room, there seems to be much less point in getting started." Francis Bacon: "Yes, I absolutely agree with you. I once bought a beautiful studio around the corner in Roland Gardens with the most perfect light, and I did it up so well with carpets and curtains and everything that I absolutely couldn't work in it, and I gave it to a friend of mine. I made it too grand. I was absolutely castrated in the place. That was because I had done it up so well and I hadn't got the chaos. Another thing about chaos is that I can use the dust. I used dust from the studio in doing those paintings of the sand dunes, and I saw in Brittany. It's an awful game getting all of that dust up from the floor, but there is plenty of it here, as you know, stuck to pictures and everything else. So I just took dust and a cloth and put it onto the wet paint, and after it was dried I set it as one sets a pastel. And that early painting in the Tate Gallery of Eric Hall, in which his suit looks immaculate, is painted with dust. Actually, there is no paint at all on the suit apart from a very thin grey wash, on which I put dust from the floor. Well, dust seems to be eternal, seems to be the one thing that lasts forever. And one of the things that I have noticed and been very pleased to see is that it doesn't seem to have changed at all. It seems to be as fresh as when I put it on 40 years ago. The only trouble with dust I have here now is that I've been using pastel, so that a lot of the dust has become coloured. But pure dust is the perfect colour for a grey suit. It's a kind of pastel, really, but probably more lasting than pastel. I don't know, perhaps not more lasting. I don't know about the lastingness of things. But that is how it was, because I thought, well, how can I make that slightly furry quality of a flannel suit? And then I suddenly thought, well, I could get some dust, and you can see how near it is to a decent grey flannel suit. David Sylvester says, "I must look up the Tate Gallery catalogue and see if the description of the medium is correct." Francis says, "Well, of course they wouldn't like it suggested. They probably think it's pastel or something like that. But it's nothing but dust. Whereas in the sand dune paintings, dust is just incorporated in the colour to give it its texture." Dust. Yes. Just goes to show you, you can use some dust in your work. Too cool. I love Francis Bacon. I love his honesty. I just love the way he talks. And I love his philosophies on art. I think they're fantastic. And this is a book that I really highly recommend you guys will read. I know you will really enjoy it. He talks about so many different cool ideas about painting and concepts, and you know, I love it. It's one of my all-time favourite books. Interviews with Francis Bacon, David Sylvester, and check it out. Alright, later. Hey you birds, nudge. Like my glasses? They're so me. No. You wish you're a fashion victim. Whatever.